Monique, are you there? It seems that $2,500 isn't going to be enough for this month, so send me more money.
It wasn't enough? But this month is only halfway over. What in the world did you spend it all on?
Don't act like this is my fault. Nancy's bringing her fiancé by the house soon. I have to make a good impression. So I got my hair done, went to the spa, bought a new outfit. Just the bare essentials. What did you expect me to do? Look like a slob when I meet my daughter's fiancé for the first time?
I'm not sure if we both have the same understanding of what bare essentials are. But isn't Nancy still in her sophomore year in college?
Yes.
And she's already engaged?
Yes, and? He works for a Fortune 500 company. He's a high-powered businessman.
Wow! Well, I'm very happy for her. Is she planning to get married after she graduates then?
I don't know. I suppose she'll probably let him in on her plans sometime soon. She hasn't told me anything yet.
I see. In any case, we can't afford to give you any more than we currently are.
Excuse me?
And besides, you're working, aren't you? Your payday should be coming soon. Can't you get by on that for the rest of the month?
How dare you? I allowed you to marry my eldest son. And how do you repay my magnanimity? With shameful stinginess? I even did you the favor of not moving in with you after you got married. Know your place, Monique. When the mother of your husband gives you an order, it's final. And no, I won't be giving any credence to your ridiculous claims of financial hardship. You're running a business. You could easily be giving me more.
Sean told me that your limit was $2,500 a month, and I've already given you that much.
Sean said that?
Half of that is to be used on Nancy's college tuition, which Sean voluntarily took upon himself after your husband passed away. I'm only doing what Sean told me, which is to send you $2,500 a month. If you're upset with your allowance, then take that up with Sean. He may be overseas on business, but you have his number, don't you? That's all I have to say to you.
Hey, Monique. I want to talk to you about something.
Oh, hi, Sean. Isn't it the middle of the night over there?
Tomorrow's my day off, so I'll be fine sleeping in tomorrow. There's something that I need to talk to you about. Do you have a minute?
Sure, Sean. What's up?
It's about my sister, Nancy.
What happened?
I heard she dropped out of college.
Wow, really?
One of my friends changed companies recently. And apparently Nancy is working full-time at the company he works for now.
Wow.
Sounds like my mom didn't tell you anything either.
No, she hasn't said anything. I wonder what's going on. If she's dropping out, then doesn't that mean we should do something about your mom's allowance? Half of that was for Nancy.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about. I'm stuck on this side of the planet for another 6 months. And since my mom has gotten Nancy to hate my guts, I want to be careful about how we approach the issue with them, since we could just make things worse.
Hey, I know this isn't the main issue right now, but what is it with your mom and Nancy? She treats her way better than you.
Mom always talks about how much Nancy looks like her when she was young. And I look like Dad, because she did her best to push away for nearly their entire marriage until he died. The only reason she even keeps contact with me is because she uses me to finance her lifestyle.
I'm sorry, Sean. I shouldn't have brought it up. So what do you think we should do now?
I hate to ask you this, but I was wondering if you might be able to do some recon on my mom and sister. Nancy's living in the next state over. And Mom's house is about an hour away from ours, so I'll know it'll be a chore.
Actually, Sean, did you hear about Nancy getting engaged?
Engaged? No, I haven't heard anything about that.
I didn't hear it directly from Nancy. Your mom told me about it online while she was complaining about needing more money. That was 2 days ago. She said that Nancy was going to bring him by the house to introduce him to her in the near future.
Wow, really? I can't believe this. She's getting engaged this young? And while she's still in school? I don't have any way of contacting her myself. She changed numbers all of a sudden and she never told me her new one.
Yeah, I never even had her contact info in the first place. I guess for now, I'll just have to watch your mom's action for clues. Do you think you can get your friend to keep an eye on Nancy at the office? You said they're working together.
Good idea. I'll ask him.
Monique! How could you humiliate me like this?
What?
Nancy brought her fiancé to the house yesterday. They say they're already making preparations for the wedding. And it's only thanks to him that I know what you've been doing to me. When I told him that you were sending me $2,500 a month, do you know what he did? He laughed. He laughed at me, Monique. And why? Because you're giving me such a pittance of an allowance. I couldn't let that go unanswered. So I told him that we would pay for the whole wedding.
The whole wedding? You do realize that's going to be a pretty astronomical cost, don't you?
It's worth every penny to give my beautiful daughter the wedding of her dreams. I'll spare no expense.
If you don't mind me asking, how are you planning to come up with that kind of money? Seeing as though Sean and I are paying most of your expenses.
Isn't it obvious? You're going to pay for it.
Seriously?
Oh, and just so you're aware, that will be kept a complete secret between us. Publicly, we'll be telling all the guests that I paid for it. You understand, don't you? I have to keep up my image.
You are serious, aren't you?
As much as I hate to repeat myself, this is all the result of you humiliating me with a $2,500 allowance. In order to make amends for what you've done, you'll put up the $50,000 for the wedding and tell everyone that I paid for it by myself. Consider it your first step on your way to being accepted as a true member of my family.
You know what? You're not getting another cent from us.
What?
I'm done with you.
How dare you? You can't do this to me. Monique, what's going on? Both Sean and Nancy are disowning me. This must be your doing. What did you say to them?
It's not the least bit surprising that you would blame me for this. But as long as you're listening, I've got something to say to you.
What did you do? Tell me now.
It's not that complicated, honestly.
Then tell me.
Both Nancy and Sean realized that you had been lying to them. Simple as that.
What?
You used the physical distance between them as well as their limited contact with each other to your advantage. Your story was, Nancy's going to an expensive university and living alone in an unfamiliar city and she needs money. So send me $2,500 for her tuition, rent, and my expenses. Then you lied to Nancy and said, Sean got demoted to an overseas position and I can't afford to pay your tuition anymore, so quit college and get a job. By the way, The reason Sean was sent overseas was to work on a project that he will then be promoted to lead when he gets back. The $2,500 we've been sending you was split between the two of our incomes. And even if, for some reason, Sean became unable to afford it by himself, with the money I make running my company, I'd be able to pay it all by myself. Nancy wasn't aware of this and ended up dropping out of college. So congratulations, you played them both. I have to hand it to you, honestly. It was a nearly flawless plan to take the money Sean and I were giving you for Nancy and use it to pay off the damages you owe from losing that lawsuit years ago.
That's utter nonsense. What a ridiculous story. Is that how you got the two of them to cut me out of their lives? With that drive?
Nope. I'm just relaying to you the information I was given. Sean and Nancy made amends due to the help of a friend of Sean's.
What?
We found out that Sean's friend was working at the same company as Nancy.
Oh no.
He talked to them both, and seeing the major contradictions between the two of their stories, he had the two of them meet up to talk it over. They set up a web meeting and had a conversation that lasted several hours.
They talked to each other? That's the worst possible thing that could have happened.
And in the course of their conversation, they started to wonder if the money Sean was sending you for Nancy's rent and tuition wasn't going to Nancy, where was it going? And when they got a private detective to look into you, they found out that you had been stalking a married man who spurned your advances. And you were paying off the settlement in monthly installments, which can only mean one thing. You were using our money to pay off your stalking victim, weren't you?
This is terrible. You know everything.
The other day when Nancy brought her fiancé by your house was her attempt to giving you one last chance. She was hoping that you would finally tell her the truth and admit your years-long deception. But not only did you fail to do that, you decided to use Nancy's wedding as an opportunity to bill me for an additional $50,000. And she finally realized that there was no way you would ever come clean. So she decided to cut you off.
But I was just trying to give her a nice wedding.
So do you understand why both of your kids have disowned you now? And also why I'm never giving you any more money?
Monique, wait!
And this goes without saying, but after this conversation, I'm never speaking to you again either.
How am I going to do the settlement now?
Now, you'll be hearing from our lawyer shortly about you returning the money you fraudulently took from us.
No, please.
So do be sure to respond to him in a timely manner.
But Monique, I still have several years of payments left.
And what would you like me to do about that? Like I said, my only role in this was to send the monthly payments like Sean told me to do.
Then, could you at least give Nancy and Sean a message?
They both made it very clear that they aren't interested in hearing any of your cries for help.
This can't be happening.
Goodbye. We had already canceled the lease on our apartment that was about an hour away from Sean's mom's house, but it seems like she made one final attempt to reach us the day after that last line message. She was ringing the doorbell for a solid 15 minutes when our old neighbor popped out and told her we had moved, at which point her face went pale and she slowly walked away. She is now working a second job she got through a relative in addition to the part-time job she was already working. But apparently the settlement was for an amount so massive, at this rate she's gonna have to keep working 2 jobs until she's 90. As for Nancy, she decided that she's going to try and go back to school. And with the help of her understanding fiancé and Sean, it looks like her dream will likely be coming true. And for me, I'm just glad that things will finally be settling down a bit around here.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.